Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Assalamu alaikum to everyone following us. Anala Brotherlem, Silver Songo aka by Songo Gambia. I just want us to have few minutes discussion about the oil saga. And tuluko me alonko adiamo be caring left and wrong. Na kacha so just a little bit kacha I na kacha do kenu akola nu. And I still believe we need to go deep into it because Bankola Kolam, national concern, Banko Katamani Lual, and Nunkol Kita Kul Melialongo basically, Bankola economy affect basically, itara ye Bankola rule soul Newfoundland violate Akumayar Bakele, Puraki Banku Dumobe consanti. Because akumata le meat na lual soto and akumata meat na actual soto actual milialanko wala kamara banko tamandir nya bulula bankolo tamandir nya bululu tumala mealanko wolu e boita o akumata punna kachela o masakunda e sila mealanko amanke banko dunula daras bulti bari nyajiwe lua Jumala ka luwa da akumata baga puna nyilong the National Assembly will responsible to luwa da and the National Assembly they are the voice of the people. Metulem mola voice ti again Jumala policy makerti the policies makers will ministality and minister la policies for also ibakasi dorong as a minister your policies that are minister normally you can see in the cabinet cabinet who is the chairman of the cabinet cabinet normally president is always the chairman of the cabinet if he is around the vice president normally will look at the chairman of the cabinet at the time president so bankola luwa or bankola kulka the latin the normally actual Malayalongo through the parliament, some of these acts, it can start now from the cabinet level. Ning cabinet sita, a cool discourse, cabinet sa jive, then cool mel discourse. I mean, Luai Milafo la the Minister of Justice, or the Attorney General as a cabinet advice on the legal issues. So there are policies Malayalongo, those policies will go through the parliament, and there are other policies they might not go through the parliament. It depends on the level of policies basically oil saga for Gambians to understand the involvement of the government involvement the commitments government the commitments some of the ministers and some of the people they are not even ministers but they are close to the power. Inakita symbol involvement in this oil saga. It's important na kacha na nyo hakilu bulanda because I mean ngamen for mole wolo nyinduko bankola ko it should be the business of I don't kind of mobile business thing. Sometimes nindiam da bankola kola I mean people will look at us as politicians. This is why sometimes we love to be ourselves some activity. But yes, still, politics will always be, I mean, part of it because we are politicians by nature. But before being a politician, the Nibekala politician only follow imu banku dumuleti. Imu banku dumuleti, banku dia, wale ke dundi politiko kono. Ima ni dunda politiko kono. It depends what is the interest. Mina mule interest the politiko kono again. But we are not going much into that. Into do no kono bake. The oil saga, especially the aspect of money laundering. Kodoku, maningol kavu, nyan kodoku. Niko kodoku, asamol jahali. Those have kodoku, nyadi them, for kodobla, jokonolam banka, kubang. Nyadi them, you know, I just want us to discuss about this. Left and Nanyana Kacha. Because Nyajel left and Nanyan Kacha, Najele, newspaper le could be told a preliminary reports before the parliament. There was no aspect of money laundering. Money laundering, okay? That was something me alonko. And it reflects in the reports. Okay? But now let's discuss nakacha money laundering and there are different aspects of money laundering. I don't know. The experts Milalonko, they were there. Experts from Milalonko were living in jail. I mean, what was their advice? And many are Tina, they come to this level or they come to the position of saying that there was no aspect of money laundering. I mean, never could understand that. All of you money laundering, fend me halonko, you know, I mean, a different aspect shoulders. For example, I have a business or I have bagaso bembulu, for example, but bagaso bembulu, makele no na fuloti, banko dol kam, andung nyam bagaso nyanda kila na fuloti, na flow into the market. But in the physical casting, for example, in the physical cast no at that very moment because of the nature of bagaso ni. So meme kila ulo nyundu ko, me bagaso ni sambala to a country or a third party country, me bagaso ni sambala wolto, na bagaso ni wafi. So nina bagaso ni wafi now. Okay, I am not going to, because nina physical casting samba, or maybe if I want to transport the physical casting, that also one will call it a money laundering, right? Mulba mosawo fanam fono fanam money laundering, okay? Because I'm not allowed in the international monetary rules to pour a certain amount of money la yabula kulun kono or yabula pleno la yasamba banko do o man allow. So what can we do? Memele kala sa wolum nyinduko be bagaso sa manang to a third party country to another country me alon ko mba wafi le jelto so bonina wafi je say me men kala wolum nyinduko ko do nyim ba dun le to a bank mba bula mba kele bank leto say ni na ke bank to sign bank ni wolum mina ko do nyu wala to another bank saying ufana ko the quality. We need to understand that one because ila ko do nyi is not a legitimate money. Ila ko do nyi amanke ko dit me alon ka senata I mean, wala na kaya kodo ko. Kodo ni man senea. So kodo ni na senea balani ila fa kajo kodo ni senea. That is the reason why ye kodo ye bagaso sama nanjang kabe bagayo sama ya dundi into a legitimate bank. Ya dundi bank to bank me alonko. I mean, you know, I mean it's an international bank me alonko transactional goes everywhere. So ya dundi bank to diamond. I mean, wolfna ya where to a third party bank. So but ya dundi bank mendo at some point puri kodo ni where to another bank they have to justify. For example, so but now the justification movement you cannot justify such amount of money until and unless you have a government backing. So we need to understand all this point. You must have a government backing because in government a business for government the money is a legitimate money, right? So if government back is a legitimate money, one will not call it as a money laundering bantal. But inside is a money laundering because the person member business what is the nature of that person? A businessman or business all these things are very important. So money laundering mantaraje koduku mantaraje ka kodoku mavo koduku ba ka kodo seneyandi o mantaraje o fenet me yalonko it really doubts me I ain't jahal. So we are calling on the members of the parliament police katakuo ke back. Especially because the matter is coming before the parliament. Because the report must be adopted. By the report on someone adopt. So report on adopt dulanyindo. We want to hear this from some of the MPs to elaborate what did they actually mean because there was no aspect of money laundering. Because money laundering, Amanda, international law, Amanda, international Gambian law, this is why we have, even if you go to the police, they have a unit, they deal with money laundering, they deal with frauds and the like, the Interpol, the FIU, World Dolby, you'll be sure in there, in the police station and they monitor some of the financial transactions, like a bank shoulder. But one have to also look at the economic aspect of some of these businesses. In fishy business or new economic folk economy to folk economy to all those things are things we expect some of our members of the parliament who are genuine you research about some of these things because we want to know all these things. Now, long in business, you know what benefit actually did the government have, what benefit actually did the citizens have. Because they are very, 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 very important, and we actually want the government to tell us all these things. But to come to the end, because like I said, I don't want to spend much time here. But left diamond of is very important. The recommendation. The two ministers and the director Gam Petroleum. That minister knew also. I mean, we are waiting on the government. So now government people are watching. And a special advice to our members of the parliament, because the building at some point NPP will try to do a game. So now is a game between the MPs and the members of the cabinet. So saying game all me along will be the tema aning will cabinet now. So it's going to be this. Okay, either you korodi because a lot of money involved in involved, millions has been involved into this. And during the process, this bill was going to the parliament for the parliament to do an investigation. We realize or we know there were a lot of things in terms of financial bribing and the others. Okay? And we have seen some of the MPs, what was their last time humility about this particular thing. So now, this is one of these things as a legacy in Noje. So it's one thing. Dibitol aliaki ale legacy soto. In this, ale wakil ale legacy soto. At least this is going to be in the records ko atolele vote ke a vote me alonko I minister impeach. I minister bondi ala minister ya. This is going to be a history. Because if you look at Gambia history kono yajibe, you will understand ko ninyin keta it's a big plus to the members of the parliament. Anyanta ka olonde. Momo nyana tarla ye banko sa foye boje without no legacy. So this is one of the legacy we expect our members of the parliament in the coming days in Natakasoto. It's very important because nang alia katra fay alia nyim below nyim ta alia approve also alia nyim report nyim ta alia adopt and for a recommendation ka joko nyum minister nyul puriye bondi. It's going to be a big plus to you people. A big plus leti. The international community will recommend you people for people you fighting against corruption. Two, abe Gambia crop index nyum abamakwel. Na crop index nyum abamakwel bakele because so all these things are things aka banko makwel bakele in terms of international monetary regulations and the like. Okay, banko la corruption rates abe makwel bakele. In the transparency rates abe makwel bakele. So we are counting on our members of the parliament. We are counting on you people. We are having 100% hope on you people. Kajoko, you guys are not going to let us down. Altan Buendila and Altan Malundila. So either you are MPP or you are UDP or you are GDC or you are North Alliance or you are NRP. This is a national concern. And in fact, one of the beauty part of it is the member of the parliament may ask someone before the parliament is someone may alongo among an opposition at some point because he is part of the coalition, is part of the ruling coalition, is part of the majority caucus. So being part of the majority caucus, we expect the majority caucus to support that person. Priyo dibito nyinta ya mako ya lakang katonyata kasabatindi. And my special advice to my brother, the President of the Republic, Mr. Adam Barrow, I mean, you can also have a legacy in this. If you know that your hands are not dirty, ila buloma noje, and you know that you're actually fighting against corruption, you're fighting against nepotism, and then you're trying to show to Gambians your government is transparent, ila government mu masakuna clean nuleti, and like it's also going to vindicate you yediamo menke when the gala protests happen, because now anybody who is found wanting in any corrupt action or any illegal actions, things in the country, jang cool manda, your mom is found wanting in it, Amara is going to pay for the penalty, even your son, anybody. That is your statement. So all these things, this is a test. You move test lady, you move President way, another move, they are in the cabinet or whatever. So let's set a record straight. Now record set straight. Kajoko Nimol Melialonko, they found one thing. I mean, the low tech it costs. If the low tech it costs is going to set a legacy for the president also. So I am appealing to the president, Mkoto, my brother, that if I have a legacy, so Mansayalam, Watilam, Mansaya Kanala Kata. I mean, Mansaya Nila Wato Bantela Wato Bandela, but it is also important you set some of these records. And then Mantra Mansayala, Saman Dungulun Dokul Melialon, Buffalo, hey, President Doso Lunjan, Ala Watola, Ala Minister Bullet Njun Jajo Konole, Ala Minister Nulu, I buy a Motokona ye Samba Kitiola. Because we want to tell you one thing here. Honorable Abasanyang, Nakalam Nunjande, Honorable Abasanyang, Ayela Kodo Tanunjan, according to, Duluko, this is your personal money. Nyumutla Kodo, this is not a state money. That's what we had, allegedly. Let me use the word allegedly. Naji Abasanyang, he has to forcefully resign from the government. I resigned for his records. So, and Najele Abasamba Kitiola. So, Ukitio Bitakan, although the speed of Kitioning, it's not convincing, but Jigoman Taraji Bake because Kitio Tanyaning, Amantra Takang Anyama coming the way we expected. But, Abotale, Masakunda Bulale, and then Ilamasakunda take the bold step Kasamba Kitiola. We also seen that Dr. Banja also, he was found wanting, and Yasamba Kitiola, Yasorong. To our surprise, Itakiluna now calling Dr. Banja Bula, right? So Naja couldn't get this global, malaria, whatever, malaria from some of the staffs in the Ministry of Health will find Yasamba Kitiola for abuse of office, and other stuffs, ye samba kitio or kitio fana bitakan. Although the level of kitio bitakan nyamen stage show mela, people are not happy, people are not much convincing but at the end of it we have to wait. We need to be patient because this process happen. But the one thing I just want the president to know is we the citizens of this country, and I believe when I say we the citizens of this country, we believe in whatever cause we're doing. Bankola nafala nyinti, bankola protection ola nyinti. Whatever fight we're doing, we're fighting it for. We want a better country for the Gambia, our homeland. So I believe not me, many people, even some of the people they are in your party, as far as they are patriotic citizens, they believe in the cause, they believe in transparency, they believe in transparency. They believe that one have to fight against corruption because corruption is a disease. Corruption katinyari balake banko kang. Corruption is a killer. Corruption move saya around it. Kidolo. Abekole kidolo mo yafa. We know corruption ka menga society kono. Corruption is a Congo samana society kono. Corruption is a tinyaro samana society kono. And we've all seen some of the corrupt things menalango beke in banko kang. And Mr. President, I just want to tell you one thing also. Mr. President. We know there are a lot of projects going on ila masakunda kono. Sila doku will be caring. But we've just seen recently Samaketa, Samama wara follow, Mandun Sama kono follow. Some of Silul Melialon ko ye doku, Jol Belo Kanje, Jol Dunka Molla Koral kono. And what people are saying these projects are projects for kickback. Kickback ko lem. Na fulo Melialon ko, albe ferol melke ka wala nyuko. Ferol Melialon ko, albe na fulo takan ke tala nyotema. Albe project rol tala albe kosla keep albe kosla high amount at some point kolijama bala project rol milan ko alka kolijama bala tal ke nyil ngaji at the end of it project rol nyulu bukanana ta ko inta tala nyame because silo nawe do ko we need professionals to be there. We need all specifications milan ko normally wala katra plan sol bala because we believe NRA have engineers. We believe some of these roles also they have consultants and we consultant all fanang. So why silo be dokula without proper culverts? Because silo manyana dokula, we need to make this very clear. If you go into international standards, silo doku before the mano lala, you have to make sure you work on the entire drainage system. That's why normally ning be silo dokula they use leveler. You can level use le. To check to know the level of road slow level the water system, the drainage system the and this is the reason why silo dulka selesanto silo dulka jiduma. So all these things are things melial you be friended melial ko sila do ko kono ñun mu fenet me yalon ko mata bahel and now I don't know before she will be approved or before some of these plans will be approved. That is why contractors are always advised to do what is called site survey. A site survey ke road yes engineering studies ke studies ke ye kala the number of culverts and like I mentioned and like a pond mentioned be katara on the main design of the road. Akatara silo design before even the cost. That is what they use to do the costing. You can only use your costing ke kafoko silo nyimbe kanya ni amount cardinal. And I believe you don't feel that I mean Mr. President I mean you bega kele before awarding contracts. So why silo libe do kula? I mean just few sama follow through mola coral katinya kake. I don't think Mr. President that should be allowed, and that is a sign of corruption. That is a sign these are fishy deals fishy deals so let deal furu ngoleti deal jujayoleti kickback project so let project di mol la contract di mol la ibe kodo do deal la komala I mean do ko mo woleti, and we don't expect these things to keep continuing because what is more important here is either from our tax directly or is either from loans, and these loans also I mean through our taxpayers money so that is why I mean when these things happens I mean we have to come out and talk to the people. We inform people about some of these things, and this is the reason why we have oppositions in the country. This is the reason we have activists in the country. This is why activists are social, are civil society. They are not affiliated to political parties. Yes, you can say I am affiliated to a political party, but there are people speaking. There are people echoing some of these concerns. These are people they are not affiliated to any political parties. And we expect the president and his people to listen to them because akumata bakele puruka mol lamoy and lamoyro dobeje is for your help and you muta mako is for you tomorrow. So Mr. President, I mean akumata bakele you work on some of these things ASP ASAP so that I mean you at least can have a little bit form of legacy before you leave power. These are some of the advice for my brother, the President of the Republic, and some of my fellow citizens. When you see us, sometimes we are always echoing our concern in some of these issues is because the love we have for the country. Lata nyo ko binto lebe jang sama dola fana mina, but binto lula tembo, prum fana yellow na tonya fasa na bula na